What's up, you guys? How y'all doing? So, UH men's basketball began their first official road trip with 2 games included with a contest at UC Riverside. And before I get to that, guys, just remember, subscribe. Listening to, that's good enough for me. Or if you just want to see some more of my games, I have one coming up later today. So, with that being said, let's get into this game. Here comes my banner. You won't be seeing any of my B-roll from the last few games, but there it is. UH basketball defeats Riverside 83-76. Aaron Hunkenclater deserves a starting job, and I'll get into that in a little bit. First of all, I would have to give that game an A grade. An A grade, because UH really turned the corner after 11 turnovers in the first half. And they had a 10-point lead early on, only to go through a scoring drought of about 6 minutes while they committed multiple turnovers. And it looked like, to me, that was another game, or at least the second time in 3 games, where UH was subjected to a scoring drought and be forced to play catch-up for the rest of the game and then lose like they did against Santa Barbara. But that did not turn out to be the case. UH started out really well until that scoring drought came, and it lasted about 6 minutes, like I said. But UH turned the corner, and here's where they really put an exclamation point on how good that they can be. UH did not commit a turnover in the second half until about under 3 minutes to go, when they suffered a shot clock violation. How many turnovers did Riverside commit in the second half? 7. They had 3 in the first half to total 10. Now, although UH still lost the turnover battle, 7 turnovers was certainly a lot more than – or 7 turnovers was certainly a lot more turnovers than I'm sure that UC Riverside was looking for. And as a result, Riverside came out the losers, 83-76. That was the first time all year long, I believe, that they had lost at home, and certainly the first time in the last 6 games that they had lost at home. And it comes at the hands of the University of Hawaiʻi. So good on Gunat, good on the Bows. And now, I was saying before they hit the road that UH had no excuse to come away with no worse than a split, and they backed me up. But I'll admit, though, I was a little worried after the first half, where they committed those 11 turnovers and made 10 field goals, and they were down by 2. And normally, when you commit more turnovers than make your field goals, that spells disaster. That was not the case. UH was solid, they played hard, and they managed to get creative when it really counted. And I couldn't be more happier for this team. And you wonder why I've been coming to these games for 28, 29 years, okay? So, like I said, I would give this game an A grade. They were able to come out of the gates firing, and they were able to hang with UC Riverside, and they were able to seize control when it counted. And that had been the problem that UH had been going through before conference started. And I have to say, though, having a conference game at Long Beach State or anywhere else had turned out to be a good thing, because UH got exposed in some areas that they knew that they were doing bad in. And when conference play resumes after the Diamond Head Classic, they were ready. And I know that Santa Barbara may not necessarily have approved it with the outcome of that game, but in my view, they proved that they were ready, even though they lost by 3. The reason being, UH came in more prepared because they had some momentum in their corner, and there wasn't any hangover from a loss prior to that. Because against Long Beach State, they came in with a bit of hangover from the loss, in my view, or at least in my opinion. They had a little bit of hangover from the Grand Canyon loss, where they were down by 18, cut it down to a point, but couldn't come out the winners. This time, they came into Santa Barbara off a win over Oakland, which is pretty similar to Santa Barbara. Okay? And Santa Barbara, had it not been for that scoring drought, they may very well have came away the losers against the University of Hawaii. Because Giannis Nemiksha did really well in that game. He led the Bows with 19. But who led the Bows against UC Riverside? It was Tanner Christensen with 18, all in the second half, which included his first three-pointer as a Rainbow Warrior. And I couldn't have been happier for Tanner Christensen myself. I know the guy can shoot from long range, but he just hadn't had a chance to prove it. And even though it was only one shot, he proved he can do it. He proved he can hit from three-point range. Now, some might say that now one could legitimately say that might be like Kobe Bryant in a way, because Kobe Bryant I think it was either Kobe Bryant or Shaquille O'Neal. Maybe it was Shaquille O'Neal. Or no, maybe it was Kobe Bryant now that I think about it. I just remember hearing about an NBA player on the Lakers who took only one three-point shot and it wasn't counted, regardless if it went or not, if it was a hit or miss. Tanner Christensen, it was rumored that it was said before this, or not rumored, but said that he could shoot from long range. And up until UC Riverside, I had yet to see it. And now that he's made a three, he can kind of erase that he can kind of check that box off, I should say. And I am very, very pleased that Christensen was able to prove he's got some long-range shoot in him. He's a little bit like Alimami Karoma who was on Cal Poly and then transferred to Portland. But UH had to really fend off a lot of good players on their roster. Isaiah Moses, he led all players with 26. Barrington Hargress had 19. And they also had to hold down some other guys in their backcourt like Nate Pickens and Nee Olabode. And Olabode only scored 4, or Olabode. That's what the broadcast guys say. Josh Pacheco on ESPN Honolulu. By the way, shout out to him. Hopefully I'll be working for him one day. But still, anyway, Olabode was held. I'm going with that anyway. Olabode was held to only 4 points before fouling out, and Nate Pickens was held to only 3. That's only 7 points total. And when UH can hold guys like them to that low of scoring, that can only lead to rewards. And UH got exactly that. And although UH didn't have any answer for Isaiah Moses, which is a bit of a bummer, they did show that they can hold down Barrington Hargress, because last season, Barrington Hargress proved to be a real pain in the butt in both the home matchup and the road matchup for the University of Hawaii. And I really think that he put Siobhan McClanahan and Juan Munoz to the test of their point guard abilities last season. And he did just that again in this game. Now, as far as Aaron Hunkin-Clater is concerned, he had 7 in the win, 7 points, which included a 3. But he's been coming off the bench, and unless he's comfortable with that, Aaron Hunkin-Clater deserves a starting job either next season or before the season is over. One wonders what he can do with the starting job, and if that means that Tom Beattie or Marcus Green or anybody else has to come off the bench, so be it. But if Aaron Hunkin-Clater likes coming off the bench, then mazel tov. You know what? If that works for him, why change a good thing? That's the thing. I'm very pleased with the way that Aaron Hunkin-Clater has been showing his stuff And as a local kid with some point guard experience, he better show it. I'm seeing the same thing with Kody Williams. I'm seeing the same thing with Tom Beattie. And I'm seeing a little bit of Drew Buggs and Brock Steptoe and Junior Madute all rolled into one. And maybe even, if I want to go back further, Anthony Carter. That's when I started going back around 96, 97. Because Anthony Carter was the true point guard of this team, maybe next to Roderick Bobbitt as well. And if Aaron Huckenklater has that kind of talent in him, UH has certainly got themselves a valuable pickup. And it's hard to find point guards like them, especially local kids. And Aaron Huckenklater's from Wahiawa, but he went to high school on the mainland at Salesian Prep, I believe. But still, if Huckenklater puts in these kinds of performances, I wouldn't doubt that he's going to have a starting job before this season is over. But because he's definitely a shoo-in for a start job next season. I have a feeling he will be staying with us because Huckenklater is a great point guard and a great pickup for the University of Hawaii. Like I said before. Because he's quick, he's agile, and he knows how to control the ball efficiently. Am I saying he's better than Kody Williams? No, but he's definitely comparable to Kody Williams. That's just the way it looks from my view. So, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. UH will stay on the road at Cal State Fullerton. They're a winless squad, and I'll say this: if UH doesn't come away with 2 wins, I'll be a little bit disappointed. But I think they will. They have turned a corner. They've convinced me. Santa Barbara, they convinced me. The outcome may not necessarily prove it because they lost by 3. But against Cal Poly, they were able to pull as much as a 20-point lead. And that proved to me that they turned a corner much sooner than last season. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And remember, subscribe. I'll see you all for my recap after Cal State Fullerton. Well, I'm a Poto, folks.